to the news in details. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the Road Transport Unions on Tuesday met to review the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) jointly signed by them for logistic deployment for the 2019 general elections and other polls. Newsman reports that the meeting to review the implementation of the INEC, NURTW, and ARTO MOU is to improve on logistic deployment ahead of the Anambra governorship election and the 2023 general election. Ibiano, represented by Special Assistant to the INEC Chairman, Professor Mohamed Kuna, said while INEC had sole responsibility to conduct free, fair, and credible election, it needed the support of other organizations to achieve that. The Chief Technical Assistant to INEC Chairman, Professor Bolade Ayila, stressed the need to do the review of the MOU with the best intentions ahead of the Anambra governorship election and the 2023 general polls. The NURTW president, Alaji Tajuddin Barua, however, called on INEC to extend its insurance cover to the union members and vehicle being deployed for election duties. The House of Representatives on Tuesday insisted that the embargo placed last week on bills sent to it by the Senate for concurrence would remain. While the House adopted two Senate bills for concurrence for second reading, the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, ruled out the status quo would be maintained. Meanwhile, the House had on September 24th stepped down the second reading of two bills transmitted to it from the Senate for concurrence in protest against the alleged abandonment of bills from the House by the Senate. Gbajabiamila, however, stated that the issue was not about controversial bills, but about outstanding House bills at the Senate. And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has said that through the Economic Sustainability Plan, the present regime has saved over 1 billion jobs and forestalled the closure of over 150,000 small businesses hit by COVID-19. This is as he said that social protection schemes could break the cycle of poverty, provide access to jobs, economic opportunities, and improve human capacity. Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President of Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, disclosed this in a statement. The Vice President further explained that in addition to scaling up health intervention, the plan contained labor-intensive interventions in agriculture, housing, and public work programmers, and the provision of solar energy to 5 million homes. He noted that poor financial resources remain a constraint to achieving such objective, adding that the importance of the recently approved increase of $650 billion in SDR allocation is for improving global liquidity. You're still listening to the media news on T Solid Radio. Still to come is the foreign and sport news. Do remember to download our app T Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T Solid Radio TV. On the foreign scene, Central Bank Chief Krylo Shevchenko has today said that Ukraine seeks to extend its cooperation program with the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which is due to expire in December. Ukraine secured an 18-month standby program from the IMF with a total volume of 3.6 billion SDR in June 2020. Since then, the East European country has received only the first tranche, from the program worth $2.1 billion. Though disbursement of the funds was suspended due to Ukraine's failure to fulfill certain obligations prescribed in the program. And South Africa Airways and Kenya Airways have signed a cooperation agreement with the long-term ambition of creating a pan-African airline. SAA and KQ, both of which have plagued by financial and administrative woes, said that their collaboration will make the aviation sector more competitive. They signed a memorandum of understanding to increase the mutual growth potential. The collaboration could entail sharing services in terms of routes, fleet maintenance and repair, as well as seeking opportunities to achieve economic of skills. SAA restarted its operation last week after being grounded for more than a year because of bankruptcy, while KQ has been hit hard by COVID 19 and has focused on transporting cargo to minimize losses. It also plans to have the airline nationalized after its code share agreement with Air France KLM ends in September. North Korea has successfully tested a new hypersonic guiding missile in what would be the nuclear armed nation's latest advance in weapons technology. Tuesday launch was of great strategic significance as the North seeks to increase its defense capability a thousandfold. The launch was watched by top official Park Jong-chon, also making no mention of leader Kim Jong-un. The South Korean military had announced the launch shortly after it happened on Tuesday, but it did not reveal the missile's maximum altitude and flight distance afterwards. Both Koreas are building up their weapons capabilities in what could become an arms race on the Dividend Peninsula, with ramification for neighboring Japan, China, and the wider region. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has authorized the release of a special investigation report into the irregular awarding by the Health Ministry of a contract for a COVID 19 media campaign. The investigation found that the contract awarded to a firm, Digital Vibes, was irregular and that senior officials had benefited from some of the money paid to the company. In a statement today, the presidency said that in the interest of fairness, all parties mentioned in the final report had been notified before the release, so they could have an opportunity to object its publication or parts thereof. The matter forced the resignation of Health Minister Zweli Mekizi in June after he had been placed on special leave to answer allegation that he influenced the hiring of his close associate in the tender. Meanwhile, last weekend, the Health Ministry announced the suspension of the Director General of Health, Sandil Betuzi, over the issue. And moving on to the world of sports, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the Tigers Nigeria's senior women basketball team on the victory at the 2021 FIBA AfroBasket Women's Championship in Cameroon. Newsman reports that Nigeria beat Mali 70-59 in the final match of the 2021 FIBA Women's AfroBasket on Sunday in Yaoundé, Cameroon, to retain their title. The win was for the third straight time. The president's congratulatory message was conveyed in a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, on Tuesday in Abuja. President Buhari said he was extremely delighted to see the national team excelled over and over again on the regional and world stages, demonstrating that with hard work, resilience, and dedication, victory is sure. New heavyweight world champion Alexander Usyk promoter Alexander Karusik, I beg your pardon, has said Usyk is expecting a rematch with Anthony Joshua in February or March. The Ukrainian stunned Britain's Joshua on Saturday, winning by unanimous decision to take the WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight belts. Usyk is also interested in the title unification bout with WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Joshua told newsmen that at the post-fight news conference that he is 110% likely to activate the rematch clause. Usyk has previously said he wanted the rematch to take place at the Olympic Stadium in Kiev. With that, we've come to the end of the news. A recap of the major headlines. INEC Transport Unions review MOU ahead of polls. Federal government prevented shutdown of 150,000 SMEs, says Osinbajo. And on the foreign scene, I read Ukraine seeks extension of cooperation program with IMF. And on the world of sports, you heard Buhari congratulates the Tigers 2021 AfroBasket champions. Ensure to go by all precautionary measures to stay safe from COVID 19, as recommended by the World Health Organization and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Do remember to download our app T-Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T-Solid Radio TV. The news was compiled by Umibeko Buluwatife and edited by Akachi Chijoke. I am Joy Akin Olamigoke. Good afternoon and many thanks for listening.
This